Schneider Dynasty podcast. We are interviewing our brother-in-law, Jared, today. And so I guess this is our third installment. We've run out of our rivalry matchups. And so we naturally just went, well, Jared will do it with us. So
go with your first choice.
Yes.
If it hadn't been for the rival.
Right. Actually, guys, this has been recorded 3 months ago when we were first practicing. And
right.
all the predictions that we're about to make, we'll see how accurate we have been so far.
Yeah, we're going to go into real incredible detail, so it'll be
weird,
really interesting.
Be amazed. Well, Mark, I'm going to let you handle this interview today, since you are directly beside Jared on a vacation. You didn't even invite me.
You were invited.
I know. There's this thing called COVID-19.
Yeah.
So I was not able to go because I don't live as close.
All right, Jared. So the first one here.
Yeah.
Talking about your record, I was a little more pessimistic up to 2. I had you at 5-8 this year.
Yeah.
Eric had you at 8-5.
I like that better.
Yeah. So just want to give you the space here to defend the team and potentially say why mine may have been harsh.
Well, I want to start off in saying after week 3 and having the injuries that attacked my team and really took them out at the knees or like the waist, really, I have no legs to stand on to defend a 5-8 record. I was looking at the record, and I think 5-8 actually is probably pretty accurate at this point. It all depends on whether Christian McCaffrey comes back, but we'll get into that, I think, a little bit later. But yeah, I think 5-8. I didn't like 5-8 at first. I thought I had potential to get to 8-5. But now looking at the record and trading away my second quarterback and hoping that Tua gets in there before week 10, yeah, I think we're going to go. I'll be happy if I go 5-8. Let's put it that way.
So are you saying that you are
you got a big trade?
Yeah.
So I think it's a good time to hit on it. Trading with, as everyone else had, Seth Newell.
Yeah.
This one, poaching the biggest target, Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, that's the weird part is when he started his fire sale, I'm like, I have to take advantage of this. I'm not a big trade person because I usually feel like I get burnt or I have like second guess the trade. For instance, when I traded with Eric for Jimmy G and gave him Josh Allen, I really feel like I, sold the farm on that one. So I don't really like doing trades, but when he's giving away all his players, I'm like, I got to take advantage of this. And I actually, to be honest, I went after Eckler first because I thought he was going to be a plug-in, immediate boost to my roster. But he turned down a couple of those offers I gave him. And he suggested giving me McCaffrey for Jimmy G and a couple first rounders. I'm like, yeah, I could do that. Especially since McCaffrey's only out for hopefully 3 to 4 weeks. So
right. I was gonna say, I don't think you can get burned by getting McCaffrey. I think you could have probably given everyone that's on your roster.
That's what I figured.
And still been okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say of all the trades, I thought that was the best bargain.
Oh, for sure. I totally agree. And honestly, Austin Eckler, I think that was probably the worst trade. Now, they were all decent trades, but of the 3, I think he had to give up the most with the least amount in return. But I think we all know Mark was a little bit nervous about not having Saquon Barkley for, I don't know, the whole season. So
yeah. I'd be kind of nervous, but right now I have no running backs. So, well, actually, I have a lot of rookie running backs. That's the thing. I think I have good youth if they turn out well. If they progress well, they have good potential. But right now, it's kind of rocky. Because even Zach Moss went out, Kittle went out, Julio Jones went out right before I could change it this week. So that was frustrating. But
driving in the car,
trying to go on vacation. And then you had, oh no, Julio Jones is out. It was a little rough, but whatever. I still scored. Well, scored 100 points, so
there you go. Not everyone can say that.
That's true. That's because Dak Prescott somehow pulls it out and throws for 450 yards. So he keeps that up, then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm curious to know how many people in this league are actually on the track for losing for Lawrence and how many are actually competing this year, because it feels like there's definitely like a split right down the middle. Yet I still managed to lose this week to Connor, and I was not ready for that. Not ready at all.
Yeah. Your team really gave up on you.
Yeah. I ran out of steam there.
Well, I think we'll be back. No worries. But Devontae Adams definitely decided to like throw some secret party that I was not invited to and took half my team with him. But we'll see.
And I think your earlier point, it's really interesting because I think last year it was just so tight. Like I would say, off the top of my head, if it was like 9 wins was top, and I know I was second to last with 5 wins.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot more competitive. So it'll be curious to see, seeing that this is only the second year doing our Dynasty League, if the disparity will grow bigger or if this is just kind of like a hiccup. Maybe we need to start.
I think there have been a lot of more injuries though this first couple of weeks of this season.
For sure.
I think because of the lack of training camp and the preseason, I think that really throws a wrench in it too.
Yeah, I guess you're right. There have been a lot of big names that have gotten knocked out right away. But we'll see. It's also only week 3. I think we are definitely in tilt mode if we're too worried about it yet.
Yeah. Writing on the wall.
Yeah. All right. What's your other questions, Mark? Since you didn't give me access to them this week.
Yep. They were top secret. I just like to keep everyone on their toes. Next one here. Just kind of what was your draft strategy heading into week, like year 1? I think there's a lot of approaches to take.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting because I was trying to keep in mind the longevity of a dynasty league, saying these are the players I'm going to be stuck with potentially for the next how many years we end up doing this.
3,
so there's
probably.
So I was thinking through how, probably targeted younger players more than I normally would have in a year-to-year draft kind of thing. But and I think some of that came back to bite me because I did have I can't remember what order I drafted in last year, but I feel like it was in the later half, and so I didn't get the studs as much. But I did pick up. I think if I had to go back and do it again, I would have picked up a second or a third quarterback sooner. Because, like I said, I didn't have Prescott and Allen last year, but I didn't have anybody else to fill in that gap. So I think I would have picked up a third quarterback a little sooner, just because they do tend to score more consistently when you have a good quarterback, especially if they do get injured kind of often.
I've heard, and I don't know how much, I would say we're only 1 year into it. But I've heard the 3 to 5 year time horizon thrown out a lot. It's kind of like thinking that realm. I've heard, and it's kind of interesting. I think for me, I went younger on the quarterback and kind of got lucky with Kyler Murray, like really coming in the fold last year and looking good moving forward. But then I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Because Eric, you went more receiver route.
Yeah.
I went more running back route as well.
Yeah, and I guess my strategy was going into it. I feel like wide receivers have a longer shelf life. They're the ones that tend to get the contracts that'll stick around. So you can get a solid 5-6 years out of a good wide receiver, where it's probably more of a 2 to 4 if you're lucky for a running back. And running back is a position where you can plug and play a little bit easier. You have rookies coming in and just hitting the ground running, whether that's Ezekiel Elliott when he first joined the league, what everyone thought Clyde Edwards-Helaire was going to do. We'll see if it works out or not. But you look at someone like Todd Gurley, who goes from being the absolute must-have running back to he's on his second team now, and we're not sure what we're getting. Some weeks are good. Other weeks he was a receiving running back and hasn't gotten a single pass in a game. That was a little bit more my strategy. I also feel that the running back position tends to receive more injuries than the receiver position. And yet I have Devontae Adams on my bench at the moment for the second year in a row. But Yeah, no, that was my strategy. Like you said, Mark, 3 to 5 is what people say. I really think that 2 to 4 is your sweet spot. So obviously 3 years is what you're looking at as far as what you can get out of a player. If you can get 3 good years, then that's solid, and you don't want to be thinking too much farther than that. Otherwise, you are constantly in Washington football team rebuild mode. If you're always looking to the future, then you're never succeeding in the present. But you also don't want to sell the farm and totally mortgage your future either. So,
do you have someone in mind when you're saying that, or?
Well, I'm just thinking that there are some people in our league that maybe went a little big the first year, and then were very easily manipulated into a fire sale. So I don't know. I think you and I have more influence than I realized, Mark. So Jared, I just wanted to let you know, I think your team is trash, and you should trade me Christian McCaffrey in order to fully rebuild. So.
Yeah, I think he's actually part of my rebuild, so I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I'm taking the approach of taking Dak Prescott and then building the rest of the team around him, because he's so far 3 weeks in the only consistent scorer that I have.
Yeah, he's solid. He's solid, and he is in total pay me or I'm going to go somewhere else mode.
Right.
So
well,
definitely
maybe he'll go to Washington.
Honestly,
and burn the.
I don't want that. Please no. I can't do that.
No.
Not if he brings you a Super Bowl ring.
I don't think he's as good as people say he is.
No, I think he's a system quarterback.
He's surrounded by talent. He has so many weapons, and he's making good decisions for the most part. Yeah. But if he came to Washington, I'm sorry, nobody can fix Washington's offense at this moment. They could definitely make it a lot more useful than what we saw this weekend. I think a game manager and we would have won that game against Cleveland. But as far as what they're putting up numbers, 400 yards a week, no, that's not going to happen with Steven Sims as your number 2 receiver.
Yeah. Well, going back to your point about running backs in fantasy, I think it's hard too because there's so many running back by committees.
Yeah,
you have the starter and you have the 1 or 2 other guys behind him that are sharing the load. And sometimes it works. Like for instance, in Cleveland with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, they both put out good numbers, but oftentimes it doesn't pan out that way.
Or it's just unpredictable. So every week, there's going to be a stud, but you don't know which one is getting the carries, if they're playing the hot hand or if, the coach is just flip-flopping on you all the time.
Yeah. Which goes back to the other trade I made this season. Was it the beginning of the season? I don't know if it was the beginning. I don't know if it was after week 1 where I traded Joe Mixon for Tua as part of my second rebuild or third rebuild or whatever trade that was. And I felt it was a good time to trade him because he was kind of a hot commodity, but I feel like he's going to trail off after this year or this year, if not next year.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair trade and definitely your QB need on your team. I think that that was a profitable investment for you. But Mark, what's going on with your face there? Are you frozen on me?
Yeah, the internet connection.
Okay. Are we back?
I think we're back.
So I'm currently looking up to continue with this. The top running backs from 5 years ago. I'm trying to see if I can get it here quickly. But
pretty sure that's about Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley, even 2 years ago, right? He was.
Yeah, when the Rams were doing really well, he was part of that offense. It was firing. Anything about Devonta Freeman came to my mind. Obviously, just got signed here. Even David Johnson 5 years ago, wasn't he? Yeah, David Johnson.
Yep.
He's 25.
So these are the best running backs of the decade.
Oh.
So I just saw D'Angelo Williams, but he was kind of a while ago. Doug Martin.
Oh yeah, Doug Martin. That was 5. 4 or 5 years.
Kareem Hunt, but for the Chiefs. Steven Jackson. Yeah, that's pretty early. Yeah. Jones Drew.
That was pretty early too.
CJ2K.
Yeah, man. That was a fun time.
Matt Forte, but like kind of to your point, like over the last decade, the amount of names that are coming in and out in like a pretty much like a 3-year, kind of prime window.
Right. Now
read 28 or so.
Now read the wide receivers for the last decade. You're still going to have Julio Jones on there. You're going to have I'm trying to think who else off the top of my head in the last 10 years. What do you got?
Looking. I mean, I would assume like
Antonio Brown.
Well, like Antonio Brown would be
sure. Which, if he hadn't like gone totally crazy, he would still be playing.
Yeah. All right. So this one's the top 10 list. I had top 25 last time. So you got Fitzgerald.
Okay, he's still playing. Not
Calvin
really.
Johnson.
Yeah, Calvin Johnson.
DeAndre Hopkins.
AJ Green, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that one
He's
counts.
still playing.
T.Y. Hilton.
Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
Again.
So obviously, not all of those are, some of them are still in the league, which I think is to my point, but they're going to be playing much more of a spot start role. Larry Fitzgerald, Deshaun Jackson, you can't rely on them on a week in, week out, but you're definitely not starting Steven Jackson anytime soon.
Yeah.
Even Emmanuel Sanders, just that he's stuck around. What's he like? He's definitely in his 30s. He might be getting to like 32, 33. Mm-hmm. And he's number 2 on the Saints. Mm-hmm. Hasn't done a whole lot just yet. Caught a touchdown. Maybe that'll catch him. But I just sent him over to Newell.
Yeah.
So hopefully that doesn't. Hopefully he's going to catch fire. That's stink. But yeah, I think like for me, I definitely went heavy running back in terms of like Ezekiel Elliott. It just kind of felt because it was when it was going on, he was either in, I think he was in holdout mode. So I think I got him at 6. Like he dropped like a couple places. And like, I feel like there aren't too many bell cows out there. I feel like that's him right now. We'll see if that means he has a shorter shelf life. And then I've got like a few, like I have Todd Gurley, which was, I thought I was getting 2 years ago Todd Gurley when I drafted him. We'll see what happens here with the Falcons. Getting the touches, but
Well, and that's part of the strategy. Obviously at some point you need running backs. You can't just be zero running back at all times. But it's finding that sweet spot. So, Mark, it's for you. It's trying to predict when is Ezekiel Elliott done, and can you offload him before he's done? So you get the most out of him, get a haul of trades, and then rebuild in that particular position or whatever. And I think that's what we're still figuring out as Dynasty works, of how much time do you have? I know, like for me, I offloaded Tyreek Hill on you. And after I did that, I realized like I'm happy with the trades that we got. Obviously I got Calvin Ridley, who is killing it.
Came into fruition.
So I got a little younger at the position, and I needed a running back since I had gone, zero running back, and got Jonathan Taylor out of the deal with you. So I'm looking real good on that trade so far. However, I will say right afterwards, I got nervous because I realized, you know what? I think if Tyreek Hill has been in the league forever, he's only been in the league like 3-4 years at most. And you had the potential of getting, another solid 4 or 5 years out of that guy if everything works out. So that's the difference, is the shelf life of the particular positions. Now with you, Jared, you went ahead and grabbed one of the elite tight ends. What was your strategy thinking with that?
Getting Kittle?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I draft him, or I guess I did draft him.
I think you drafted him.
Yeah, because in another league I traded for him. That's what happened.
Yeah, because he already had the breakout at that point.
Yeah, I think I was trying to go after him to lock up that position, because that can be such a a shallow position.
Mm-hmm.
You have like the top 3 or 4 guys, and then after that, it just kind of falls out because teams don't utilize other tight ends, or they're just not catching the ball or getting the points. And so I think for my point there, I was trying to go after someone who I knew was going to produce week in and week out, so that I didn't have to worry about it, and kind of I guess in a sense, gave me a leg up because I had that position locked down. And then, of course, he went and got injured. So,
well, this year, but I'm thinking back to last year too. Of some of the weaknesses of your team this year are similar to what they were last year. Yet, I think you ended up like the upper middle pack of teams last year.
I think it was 8-5 or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So you're definitely right there in the that 4-5 range of I don't remember off the top of my head, but my thinking or my question for you is just regarding in our league with it's almost a tight end premium kind of setup that we have going there. Did you appreciate that investment, or would you go back and do it the same way?
Probably, especially I think we upped it. Gave it an extra half a point or per reception for
an extra quarter point. Yeah, we're up to 0.75 per reception.
And so I think I don't know. I have to go back and look at it. But you delete the league, so I can't go back and look at it. But see how advantage that was to scoring points and give me that edge. Or like now I'm getting blown out this year, but back then I was actually squeezing out some wins, much like the Titans have been doing this last 3 weeks.
What's your point differential through 3 weeks?
The Titans +6.
3-0.
3-0 +6 points.
Nice.
That's great.
Yeah, it's the same as the Washington football team's first half stats, right? It's just a 6-point difference. No, I think
turnover differential against the Browns.
Oh my God, that was so bad. It was so bad. I don't know. I think I'm ready to just like get rid of Dwayne Haskins right now. I called it. All right, like he's done. He sucks. It's that simple.
But I think it's a similar situation to the Jets. Like the Jets have nothing for Sam Darnold to do anything.
Yeah, no, it's fair.
But I mean, the Washington football team has a few weapons, but nothing.
Well, I understand, but if the weapons were dropping the ball, it's one thing. But they're getting the ball up here or down here. Like I could throw the ball more accurate than he is right now. I'm sorry, this is bad.
Yeah,
I think like for him, like I thought, like Rivera said this, and it seems like he was throwing to the right guy, just not well, and like his feet were very active. Like he was always throwing weird by angle, wasn't really stepping into it.
You think that was after
against the Browns? What was that?
I was going to say, do you think that was after he played Kyler Murray? He saw how fast he was moving, and he thought maybe if I move my feet faster,
that's the key.
I don't know. That's just a thought. Sorry.
I think it's hard because you see some other guys who are throwing off their back foot or like making crazy catch, like that one throw that Russell Wilson put into DK Metcalf. It's like just bombed it right in there, and it's like some of these guys have the arm and the talent to just put the ball exactly where they want it to be.
Yeah,
it's really, and like they're not even like stepping into it though. They're like on their back foot, like, oh, let me just throw this up there, and that's crazy.
There's that, and then did you see the one with Deshaun Watson a couple of weeks ago where both feet were off the ground and he threw the ball? And he threw like a 50-yard bomb. Both feet off the ground, just goes for it. Perfect over the shoulder catch. Will Fuller walks into the end zone. It's just like, come on, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So I'll say he was doing well first 2 games, keeping the ball, not turning it over. I feel like, coach him up, mechanics. I think he got it. I think I don't. Like there isn't really seen a whole lot of like that's our guy, but enough to be like I'm down to give him more time.
Give him time with Rivera. I think that's the
short
biggest
season.
thing. Short season consistency on the coaching staff and the playbook and things like that really help go a long way to giving a guy confidence to step in the pocket and throw the ball. But sometimes guys are just not that good. So.
Yeah, I think I'm just jaded at this point. Like, I've watched how many quarterbacks come and go, and I'm just ready to cheer for another team. I think is where I'm at.
Titans are 3-0.
Here's the thing. I've tried this. Every season I call Mark up and I'm like, Mark, all right, who are the candidates this year? Who are we cheering for? And we go through the list, and every year we come up with some like finalists. And then I watch them and I'm like, I can't do it. And it's like, yeah, they're great. That's awesome. Like the 49ers, I wanted to cheer for them last year before they actually got to the Super Bowl. So like, I'm not that much of a bandwagon fan. I'm just great at predictions, but then I start watching. I'm just, you're welcome. You're welcome. But I just watched them and I was just like, no, I can't. Or like tonight when we watched the game of the Chiefs and the Ravens, it's going to be an awesome game. I enjoy watching it. But it's just not the same. It's just like enjoying the game as opposed to like actually pouring my entire spirit into something and then hating my life for it.
Yeah.
I can't have that anywhere but the Washington football team. So
yeah, that's true.
The unique bond, if it's a bond.
Weird how it forms though, because you've grown up with it, and so that's all you've known. So
yeah, because if you ask me why, I have no idea why I put myself through this pain every year. But I guess that's a question we have for you, Jared, because you cheer for the Titans, as we've mentioned.
We've alluded to.
Yes, I guess it was just an illusion, but. What
illusion, not illusion, not
with an A. Illusion with an A.
Yes,
as opposed to the common thread, which is illusion in this conversation. It's all over the place. We're just anyway. I'm losing it. Elusive. There you go. We can keep it going. Back to the original question. What made you root for a team like the Titans, having never lived in Nashville, or what was your connection? What made that bond for you?
Well, growing up, I remember my earliest football was Brett Favre, Reggie White out there in Green Bay, and so I like the Packers. I can't explain why I watched the Packers. I think it's just Brett Favre was gunslinging it around, and they were good in the late '90s. And so, and at that point, my older brother liked the Steelers. Yeah, he still does. Younger brother likes the Eagles. And then being the middle child, I'm like, I can't go either one. And thankfully I didn't, because I would have been upset. Either one. And so it was around 2000, 2001, 1999, and the Oilers moved to Nashville, and the whole rebranding of the Titans, and Eddie George and Steve McNair, and they were slinging it and went to the Super Bowl. I don't remember watching the Super Bowl. I remember now the 1 yard short play, because it's like Titans fandom. But so it was just kind of in the market for a team, and I was still young and impressionable back then, so I could
10 years old.
I could do it. Yeah, so I could do it, and so now it's like growing up with it, and it's just going through the early years where they were actually good, decent, and then many, many, many years of not being good.
Yeah,
that's kind of solidified that team bond.
So Mark, what you're saying is you think this is Dad's fault? He never gave us a chance to branch out and jump onto another team. This was,
to be fair, Dawson did. He didn't.
The third brother who's not the one you haven't met on this podcast. If you're one of our listeners,
baby.
The baby that's like Mark and I combined size-wise. Like this kid is muscular. We'll put it that way. And he is protecting our country as we speak.
I was proud of him. He joined the family baseball league, and as soon as he drafted, deleted the app, so he didn't get.
He's like, just let me know if I win.
But even that's been pretty cool.
Yeah,
the best ball.
That's been fun.
And that jerk's probably going to win.
Well, right now, I don't know if you looked at the standings, but before tonight's game, I'm beating you by 0.39 points or something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I haven't looked at it. I know that last week you were ahead by literally less than a point. It was like 0.4. So I guess you've taken a much bigger lead up to 3.9.
No. I'm at 0.39.
Oh, we're still like at the 0.4.
Yeah, still because it hasn't processed this week because there's still tonight's game.
Oh, so okay. So we're talking about the same thing.
You're going to jump up. Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to jump up. You'll take the lead in that too.
For those that haven't heard what that is, I just found out about it from these two. And it's basically just the lazy version of fantasy football.
Super easy.
Where you just draft your team and no transactions allowed.
Right.
And your best lineup, you don't even sit your lineup. It's the best one from your bench.
Yeah.
Who's ever happens to be in the starting lineup. It's where the best is.
I think I'm excited to see if because right now I think the only thing you can do it through actual betting, or Yahoo has like a free version, but I'm looking forward to seeing if other
platforms develop
this and expand it.
Yeah.
Because we're running ours off Sleeper, and it's just a pain kind of to go back through and find every best player and put them in. But
well, yeah, because you're manually doing it, and I laugh because I'm sitting at work on Mondays and Tuesdays, and my phone's just going bzz, bzz, bzz. Oh, Jared must be manually editing our best ball league. Yeah. Yeah. But no, I think it was fun. I mean, that's kind of what we do, Mark. You and I have always been the ones who bring this to the attention of the family. Now, Jared, too. Now that you are a part of the family, we tend to be the creative juices here, and then coerce other people into it. So
yeah.
It's nice to have that.
Have fun with us.
Yeah, please
have fun.
Family force fun. Yeah, and I think this was definitely a good alternative because it's like, what's the best part of fantasy? The draft. What's the worst part of fantasy? The decision making. Yes. Let's take it off the table. Let's see what happens. And you know what? I'm still winning, so I love it. So
there you go. Yeah. There you go.
Well, Jared, was there anything that we did not ask you about that we should have, that you would have liked us to have asked you about?
No, I think we went through all the stuff that we talked about ahead of time. Nothing else to add.
Well, the final question, if you don't have anything, that's all right. But any suggestions for us or anything that you would take back to your own podcast?
Own podcast, yes. Well, can I give I don't know if anyone on this podcast will listen to my podcast.
Give a shout out. Do it.
Yeah. We're doing. I started with a buddy. It's called Another Youth Ministry Podcast. Obviously focused on youth ministry. I'm a youth pastor, so that's kind of our thing. And so I think we're at 24 episodes today. So
that's a lot.
Yeah, we've been churning them out. So 1 week. It's been a lot, but it's been fun. So you find that we're on all the major platforms and stuff like that. So, but for I don't know. You guys do. This is fun. I think I like this one because it's such a niche. And I think it's a fun way. I've enjoyed watching the other player series and getting to know Seth and Albert, and looking forward to some of the other guys because I think I know maybe like one of them, but before all this, so it'll be fun to see.
Yeah, I think this has been a nice little offshoot of it for sure.
Yeah,
like this just kind of happened by accident because Seth Newell also has his own podcast, and he's like. Mm-hmm. Dude, you should have me on. We should talk about this. And we're like, yeah, let's do it. And then it just kind of naturally has been building since then.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Sorry.
Well, I also kind of threw it out to him. So not to say that he invited himself on. I did throw it out to him. And I think it was fun because we were just kind of realizing that there was no face for a lot of people. Just a lot of people either from your friend group or my friend group or even friend groups of friend groups. Right.
It's a very estranged group for sure. And I choose to believe that he asked him about it. So you can say what you want, but that's the story. Yeah, that's the story that I'm going to tell everyone.
You can do it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
thanks for joining.
But I enjoy the segments. I enjoy the breakdowns, even though oftentimes they're at my own expense. As I'm sure that this week will be something about Jared's poor management skills. But hey, I'll take it.
honestly, I think you might
We don't
be.
show our cards, Jared.
You might be deflected a little bit this week because if I know anything about Mark, he's going to definitely take some shots at me for falling off the wagon a little bit here. And
I wouldn't do that.
you would never do that. And honestly, it would be much deserved because I have been a blowhard the last 2 weeks. And
I told Mark when I was playing you last week, you were projected to beat me by a lot before my team fell apart.
yeah,
anyway.
like 3 times your score, but yeah, go on.
No, well, yeah. But I told him that if somehow I pulled off the upset, that he should sneak me on the podcast just to rub it in. But
you definitely would have made it. Like, I am all for it.
But my team fell apart, and I had no legs to stand on.
I told him at the minimum, I'm forwarding our Zoom link to him to just like make a guest appearance while we're recording. At the minimum.
Yeah. No, I love it. Now, here's the thing. Like, if you're going to give it, you got to be able to take it. So I'm expecting it in full return whenever you guys finally figure out how to do this. So, like, Connor, you can bring it as much as you want this week. The rest of you got nothing. I'm sorry.
I think Connor was just getting back. He's probably getting back because he lost to me the first week when I was the worst manager. And so, to beat you is a good step up from that.
For sure. And I also predicted him to be the worst this year. So there's definitely some bulletin board material there. Yeah. But anyway, I wish I could be there with you guys in your undisclosed location known as Ocean City, Maryland.
Boom.
My bad. But
that's all right.
Yeah, that's awkward. But no, it would be fun. That was always a very good nostalgic heater experience. We used to go there all the time. So hope you guys are having fun, and try not to have too much fun without me. Okay.
We won't.
We'll try.
Wish you were here, but we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
hopefully.
Well, we see you right now, but.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think I'm going to end this because I want to go watch the game. As much as I love talking to you guys, this is, I think this is done. All right.
Yeah. Covered it.
Okay, cool. All right. See you guys.